Launch day, everyone. Hello and welcome to ROG Pulse, your inside look at what's happening here behind the scenes at the Republic of Gamers. And it is indeed launch day for the ROG Xbox Ally and Ally X.
And Jake is celebrating with a glorious mustache. You grew that for the Ally?
Just for today. Yep.
Just for today.
Just for today. It's been a very amusing thing to have a mustache for the first time in my life. Get a lot of comments from people that know me, and it makes me laugh. I will enjoy rocking this in Taiwan next week when we're visiting headquarters. And of course, I'm doing it for Halloween because we're a few weeks away, and I'm going to be J. Jonah Jacobson. She's a menace.
Nice. During COVID, I grew a beard. My beard is very red, for those of you who can't tell on stream. And the day that I shaved it, I shaved all of it except like the long handlebar. And then we went to see my wife's family, and I think they all thought that I was like gonna keep that long term. And I was like, no, I'm just doing this as a joke for today.
That's amazing. Yeah, people get.
I had one friend that was like, dude, it looks awesome. You got to keep it. You look like the next drummer for Motorhead or something. Like it was.
Yeah, someone came into chat a few days ago and said, Jake, I got to say the mustache is your best look. I was like, well, my wife would strongly disagree with you, but thank you.
It is a good look. It is a good look, especially with the new glasses. Yeah, it's all a cohesive thing. All right, guys. We're not here to talk about Jake's mustache for an hour, I promise. Although I will be thinking about it all day. We are here to show you the ROG Xbox Ally. These new handhelds are available today. I have seen people in our Discord showing off their new units. ! Discord in chat if you want to join our Discord. Lots of tips and tricks and community there for you. If you have not gotten yours yet, it should be on its way soon. I already see some questions in chat from people about shipping and delivery dates and things like that. Unfortunately, I don't have any information about that at this time. It kind of varies from country to country and from retailer to retailer. So all I can say is that we are trying to get units out the door as fast as possible. So hopefully you guys all get yours super, super soon. But we have our 2 units here, and Jake is going to unbox them. One, are you unboxing one of them? Are you unboxing both?
I mean, we can kind of pseudo unbox the second one as the X has already been opened and used.
You've already had this.
I did put it back in the box for the experience, but this guy is still sealed. This is our ROG Xbox Ally, and we're going to go ahead and get that nice
Let's do it.
Plastic wrap peeled off. And there's one more like little security tab here.
So while Jake unboxes this, we've given you guys the rundown on this device before, but while we unbox, let's run through the specs. So the 2 biggest changes hardware-wise this year are the chips and the chassis design. This model that Jake is unboxing here is the ROG Xbox Ally in white, which features the ultra-efficient AMD Ryzen Z2A processor, which is built to give you steady performance at 720p, or at least upscaled from 720p, kind of depends on the game you're playing. This model is perfect for the casual player who wants something at kind of a more accessible price point, especially those for whom battery life is really important. It's got a 60 watt-hour battery inside, which pairs perfectly with that super efficient chip to give you nice long battery life in all your games.
I'm just going to interrupt you for 2 seconds. My first time ever holding this, and it is a little bit lighter than the X, which is also a nice thing. So that's pretty, it feels really, really good. I mean, it feels the same as the X, but
it feels really nice for sure. And we'll talk about that in a sec. The specs of the ROG Xbox Ally X, which is the black model, that one features the brand new AMD Ryzen AI Z2 Extreme chip, which brings performance upgrades across the spectrum of power targets. So that is the more performant chip. But I think a lot of people are thinking, oh yeah, it's got performance at the top end. But what it actually means is you've got performance throughout that entire lineup of different wattages, so you can crank it up to its max wattage in turbo mode, and you will get a nice performance boost over last generation's Z1 Extreme. But if you want to extend your battery life and play in performance mode, you'll actually see an even bigger jump in performance over the Z1 Extreme at that same wattage. So to put it another way, the Z2 Extreme in performance mode performs similarly to the Z1 Extreme in turbo mode, which means that if you have games that play really beautifully in turbo mode on the Z1 Extreme, you can play those games in performance mode on the new model and get super long battery life, or you can crank it up for more. And that Z2 Extreme is also the AI model, which means it has a built-in NPU to unlock future AI features, which some of which are coming next year, including automatic super resolution, Auto SR from Microsoft, highlight reels, and more stuff like that to come in the future. So we're trying to kind of really prepare that device for the future of gaming. You'll see there that yes, inside the lid of the box, we've got this little cardboard stand. This is like it's some of the packing material, but it doubles as a stand for your device. We do offer a separate docking station for those who want to expand the device with more ports, have like HDMI out, USB ports, things like that, something a bit more sturdy, get some RGB in there. There it is. It's called the ROG Bulwark dock. You can buy that separately, but this was just a nice way for us to like make the packaging a little bit more sustainable by offering a secondary use for it. And I'm actually still to this day using the cardboard stand that came with my original Ally. So
Me too.
yeah. There you go. All right. And there is the ROG Xbox Ally X, that beautiful black model. It's already on. It's in the box, turned on.
I mean, I think I just nudged the button as I was opening it, but there it is.
Yeah,
I've been gaming it all week, guys. I couldn't keep it in the box. I couldn't wait.
Me too. So you will see that the other big change this year is the body of the device. The controller layout is very similar. You still have the asymmetrical sticks, the ABXY buttons, which on the white model feature the same colors as an Xbox controller. Pretty nice little touch. You've got our 8-way D-pad. One major change, though, the beautiful Xbox button to the left of the screen, which we'll talk about in a bit. So similar controls, but one thing I want to really show off, and maybe Jake, you could pick up the white one and kind of show this. Let's talk about these ergonomic hand grips for a second. These are designed to make the handheld feel familiar to those who have held an Xbox controller, right? That's the goal. It is so much more comfortable than every other handheld I have ever used, pretty much, especially for longer play sessions. And what's crazy is that it makes the device feel more lightweight. This is a piece of feedback we got from a lot of people at Gamescom and Tokyo Game Show and stuff. People were surprised at how lightweight it felt, and that's due in large part to the way the internals are balanced and the way that those ergonomic hand grips allow you to hold it with less strain and kind of spread out the weight throughout your entire palm, so it feels lighter in your hands. It's a weird like brain mind trick. Also makes it a little bit easier to rest your hands on those triggers. And speaking of which, on the Xbox Ally X, we've got impulse triggers in there for more refined haptic feedback in supported games.
I've been using handhelds for years, and this is the first time I've been able to do an 8-hour session without being uncomfortable. So, yeah, it's amazing.
8-hour session on a handheld. I mean, hey, I've got a 14-hour flight coming up soon. So
exactly.
Yeah. There is also a charger in the box, as you see Jake pulled out. That is our 65-watt charger. Fern K is asking, can I use a 100-watt charger? Yes, you can. I believe we offer a 100-watt charger for sale. And if you're using a dock like that Bulwark, you may want 100 watts because the dock and accessories plugged into it will pull a little bit of wattage. So you can absolutely use 100 watts. And in fact, on the ROG Xbox Ally X, one of the ports can charge at a higher wattage too. So you'll actually benefit from the higher charging speeds of that 100-watt charger as well. Okay, so Jake, do you have an Ally X to pull out? I want to show this side by side because one thing that I've seen some people surprised about too is when you see the Xbox Ally in pictures on its own, it looks like it's going to be larger than the previous generation because of those hand grips, but that's not actually the case. If you put them side by side, they're actually really similarly sized. Our engineering team actually did a lot of work. They had to shrink the motherboard in order to fit everything inside while allowing those space for those hand grips on the side. We didn't just like slap hand grips on the side of the Ally X. They had to kind of completely redesign the footprint of the device to get those hand grips to fit without supersizing the device itself. So when you put them side by side, it's actually not that much bigger. You just get a little bit of extra on the sides where those hand grips flare out at the bottom. It's really nice. Still easy to throw in a backpack and carry with you. If you have seen the original Ally before, then you are likely familiar with the rest of the device. But for those that aren't, you've got a power button on the top that doubles as a fingerprint reader, logging you into the device instantly, although you can also input a pin with the buttons and stuff if you would rather do that. You've got a micro SD card slot on the top for storage expansion, and you've got two USB Type-C ports. On the Xbox Ally, those are USB 3. On the Xbox Ally X, one of those is USB 4. So it's compatible with Thunderbolt devices, like our upcoming XG Mobile external GPU, which I see people asking about in chat. That is coming very, very soon, and it's going to be compatible with this. Great way to dock that to a TV and play with more performance. And of course, you've got a headphone jack there as well. LOL World Championship asks, is it a touchscreen? Yes, it is a touchscreen. That is a Gorilla Glass with DXC touchscreen. It is great. That is one of my favorite ways to navigate the device. We've got ways to do stuff with buttons and ways to do stuff with touch. And when we go through some of the software later, I'll show you some of that. Although Jake's giving you a sneak peek, now. Actually, let's flip over to the software and we can show some of that off maybe.
Sure.
I see a lot of people asking about different accessories like the Raikiri 2 as well. Those are all coming soon. I don't have exact dates for anything yet, but keep an eye on our social media. Follow us here on Twitch and YouTube because we will be showing those off as we get them in as well. Yeah. All right, sweet. So the other big change that we've made this year, besides the hardware, is that we have partnered with Xbox and Windows to make the full user experience more simplified and seamless than ever. So after going through the initial setup of the device, which will be, again, more streamlined, it's controller friendly, it gets rid of screens that you don't need for a gaming handheld like this, so it's a bit more streamlined there. Once you go through that, you'll be greeted with this, the new Xbox full screen experience. The design of this, as you can tell, is inspired by an Xbox console. The homepage shows you your most recently played games here, so you can jump right back in. But you can also go over here and browse the store or browse Game Pass games and download and install stuff right from here. Now, this device does come with 3 months of Game Pass Premium out of the box in select markets. So even if you aren't a subscriber yet, you can get started playing right away for free. And that's like a $45 or $50 value. It's like somewhere in there. I forget the exact, but like, so that you got to consider that into the price of this too. Like Xbox Ally, you can basically, and it'll stack with an existing Game Pass subscription. So you can just basically knock that $45 off the price of it because you can add that Game Pass subscription to your existing subscription, which is cool. Before we go through all of this, before you do all that, when you first unbox it, I do recommend checking for software updates because there is a good chance, whether you get this on day 1 or you get it on day 60, that the version of the software that was installed at the factory may already have some updates waiting for you with new goodies. So the Xbox app itself will notify you if an update is available. It'll just like give you a little pop-up in the corner. You can either tap that pop-up or you can go over here to the bell icon. If you like miss the pop-up, the update notification will be in that menu. So you can tap that. It'll take you to the Microsoft Store and update the app for you. Then the other thing that I would recommend you do is press the Command Center button, which is the one with the little hexagonal icon to the left of the screen here. That is going to bring up the Command Center. Now, with the first time you do this, the first time you take it out of the box and do this, this may take a second to load. Just like give it a minute. It's kind of a first launch thing. But after that, it's going to be really, really snappy like it just was now. That's just a first launch thing. Once you do that, you can hit open Armoury Crate SE. This is our software. I'll show this off a bit more in a minute, but basically what you want to do is you want to go down to the update center. You can see I actually have an update here that I need to install. So perfect. You can hit check for updates. You can update these things here and you'll get the latest software drivers, all that stuff. I also believe that one of the day 1 updates is a BIOS update. So you'll want to plug your Ally into the wall with the charger. You don't turn it off while that update runs. Just let it do its thing. It'll reboot. Then, once you have installed all of the updates and rebooted, you will be back at the Xbox screen. Now, I just hit the library button on my device, which is on the right side. You can also select it here in the side of the Xbox interface. If you head to that, you will be greeted with the aggregated gaming library, where you'll be able to see all of the games you own or have access to from Xbox, Game Pass, and other PC storefronts, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. Right now, it's showing me my installed games, but I can filter using any of these criteria along the top. So I can see games that I have installed, right? But I can also uncheck that and see all games that I have access to. So I have Game Pass. So this has like all of the games on Game Pass plus games I own. If I just want to see the ones that I own, like the ones I purchased through the store or own through Xbox or whatever, I can click owned and you'll see my library here. Now, this is running Windows 11 under the hood. So you'll see that the installable games are the PC versions or their Xbox Play Anywhere titles. Xbox games that aren't part of the Play Anywhere program but are available to stream from the cloud will have this little cloud icon on them, as you can see here. Or if you have an Xbox console in your house, you can also remote play those games to your Xbox Ally. So you have a few different ways to play games that you own if you already have like a big Xbox library. So, Ritz asks, is it Xbox Game Pass Premium? Yes, Xbox Game Pass Premium is
Correct.
the one that comes with it. It may vary depending on your region, but Premium is what you're going to see in most of those markets. Yeah. Okay. If you are looking to add more games to your Xbox Ally, you can obviously head over to the store or to the Game Pass tab to see what's available. And each game's page has a lot of information. Now, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back to library here, and I'm going to go to, let's go to Forza Horizon 5, because I know that has all the information that I want to see show off on it. So if I go to the store page, you're going to see a bunch of different like badges over here on the left, right? At the bottom, you'll see that it's Xbox Play Anywhere. So that's something that we just talked about. That means that all of my saves and information are going to sync seamlessly. All of my achievements are going to sync seamlessly between this and my Xbox and my gaming PC at home, right? You'll also see that it says handheld optimized. That means that this game is ready to go out of the box, right? It has text that's easily readable. It has default controller inputs, things like that. Some games, instead of handheld optimized, might say mostly compatible, which means that they'll work well on a handheld, but they might require like a few in-game settings tweaks for an optimal experience in that scenario. Now, you'll also see the Windows Performance Fit indicator on these store pages. You're probably familiar with this if you've used the Xbox app on PC before. So you'll see this one. I'm on the white Xbox Ally here, and Forza Horizon 5 says will perform great on this device. That means that I'm going to average 60 frames per second or higher. If it says should play well on this device, then you can expect an average of around 30 frames per second. So that badge will give you an idea of what kind of performance you're going to get. So I know that on this white Xbox Ally, I can play Forza Horizon 5. I'm going to get my 60 frames per second. It's going to be a great experience, which is good because that is one of my favorite games. So that is what you're going to see in the store. Now, remember that Xbox button we showed you earlier? If you press that, you will get the newly enhanced game bar, which has a bunch of different stuff on this. So you'll see my most recently played games. If I tab over with the L and R buttons, you've got settings here like my mic volume. I can connect to a different Wi-Fi network, all of that stuff. You've got Edge and Friends and Copilot, all kinds of cool stuff in there. But if you head over to the left tab, you've also got the command center. So if you have used the original ROG Ally before, you have an idea of what this does already. But whether you have or you haven't, it has been fully redesigned. Not just for the Xbox Ally, but also the original ROG Ally just got this update as well. It is super snappy. The interface is more powerful. I love it so much. Our team made some really cool updates to this. So you've got your brightness. Yeah, you've got your brightness and volume sliders here on the side. And you've got your sometimes my tongue does not cooperate with my brain.
I've been there.
You've got your operating mode up here at the top, which lets you choose between like silent, low wattage usage. If you're playing like indie or retro games, you can put it down to silent and really stretch out that battery life. If you're playing a AAA game and you want to crank performance to the max, you can go into turbo mode, etc.
So snappy though.
It's really snappy, right? And they've added some new stuff to it. So again, if you haven't seen this before, if you've never used an ROG Ally before, this is basically like your quick settings, like you would have on a phone or a tablet. This is all of the quick hardware settings that you might want access to. And what's cool about it is that you can actually customize this to fit the settings that you use the most. And so you can do that by pressing Y. So I'm going to press Y on the controller here. And now I've got a bunch of options. I can use the X. You can see the X in the upper right-hand corner of some of these options if I want to get rid of some of these that I don't use. I can add new tiles, right? So we've got a bunch of new tiles here. Like I like to have this LED brightness one so that I can turn off the RGB if I'm like playing on a plane and it's really dark or something like that, right? Or playing in bed, which I do a lot. So you've got some options there. What's really cool, so if you notice, the operating mode option, it used to be one of these tiles that you would have to tap and like toggle through the 4 different options until you got there. Now it's this full width bar,
which means so much sense.
Right? I'm like, oh, I'm actually surprised that I didn't request this feature like 2 years ago, because now that I've used it, it's really hard to go back because it's just one click to get to exactly the option you want.
Yeah.
What's cool is if you go to the customize window, you have this add thing here, and there are a bunch of the other options are also available as that full width bar.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so you can put the real-time monitor in there. You can go straight to whatever one you want. FPS limiter. Oh, there's one for LED brightness. So yeah, I would use that, right? To just go straight to 0 if I'm like playing in the dark or whatever. And then crank it back up when I'm playing during the day. I love this Command Center update. I am so happy with the stuff that they added, and it does feel really, really good. So that's pretty cool. And from the game bar, as I showed earlier, you can open up Armoury Crate SE. So Armoury Crate SE is where a lot of our hardware specific settings reside, right? Things specific to the Ally hardware itself, not things that are like kind of general Windows or Xbox space, but things for this device. So things like calibrating your thumbsticks and your triggers, right? You can do things like adjust the sensitivity of the joysticks or the dead zones, which I know a lot of people like to kind of tweak those things and really dial in that experience. All of those settings are in here. Vibration sensitivity, if you want to turn it up or down, customizing the colors of the RGB lighting, all of that stuff is going to be here in Armoury Crate SE. The update center is there, like I mentioned earlier, and you will also notice that we added battery care to Armoury Crate SE. This allows you to limit the charging of the battery, so it only charges up to 80% if you want to prolong the lifespan of that battery. I don't personally use that, but I know that that's a really popular feature. It used to be in a separate program, but now we have integrated it into Armoury Crate SE.
Which is great.
We're trying to make this
streamlined,
more of a one-stop shop.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly the idea, right? So that is, and of course you can remap buttons and stuff like that too by hitting this configure button. Remap buttons either in-game or out of game. We have, I'm not going to dig too deep into that today because we've actually done a show on that in the past, and it's pretty much the same as previous generations of the Ally. So you guys can head back to our YouTube channel and see some of those guides that we've done in the past. A lot of those are still relevant here. So yeah, a lot of cool settings here.
Whitson, we have a question asking on how you would close a game that's running in the free up RAM in this Xbox windowed mode. Can you show them the task switcher and how to close a game?
That is what I was about to do. So this is cool. And actually, I'm going to show this to you. I'm going to answer that in a minute, but I'm going to go about it in a bit more of a roundabout way because I want to show people that this is a Windows 11 device, right? We've said that numerous times. You can run any program that runs on a Windows PC. If I open the game bar, for example, and I want to open the Windows settings app to dig deeper into settings, that option's actually here, right? Like I can go down to more settings. I can go to open Windows settings. I open it up. Boom. There it is.
But you're still in the Xbox full screen experience.
Exactly. I have not dropped down to the Windows desktop. I still am inside that experience. I've still got those RAM savings and all of that stuff that you mentioned. And I don't have to leave that in order to access a lot of this stuff. Now, if I want to install another launcher. So let's say battle.net here. I can do that. And you saw that in the Xbox app that I showed earlier, I think. Actually, you know what? Maybe I didn't show that. So we've got it in a couple places. You've got this My Apps thing along the top, which gives you access to a bunch of different launchers, but you can also do it from Armoury Crate. And you'll notice that some of these have a little download icon next to them. That would mean that you're going to open up like the Microsoft Store or a browser window to download that launcher. But I'm going to show you, I'm not going to go through that process just because that would take a little bit, but I will show you that I've installed battle.net. And if I tap that icon, it's going to open up that launcher, right? So here I've got, and actually battle.net, look, has a handheld section. Neat. So I've got all the battle.net games that I own or that I can purchase from this launcher. Again, I've never left the Xbox full screen experience. I've not loaded the Windows desktop or the taskbar or any of those other background processes. I mean, that goes for games too. So if I launch a game from battle.net or another launcher, that game is going to benefit from all of the same resource saving optimizations that your Xbox games do. And you will even see that in my Xbox library, like I mentioned earlier, there's Overwatch. There's my battle.net game. So games you install from a number of different leading third-party stores are going to show up here in your aggregated library. Awesome.
Huge, yeah.
Now, to get to what you were originally talking about, the task switcher. There are two ways to enter it. And kind of like Jake and I were talking about earlier, you can use a button, so you can press and hold the Xbox button, or you can swipe up from the bottom of the screen using the touch screen. And you've got your stuff here, right? So if I want to close the settings app here, I can just go to it and you'll see that it has that close icon. If I press X, I can press X, boom, it's closed. And I can easily switch between my apps that way.
So that's how you would close games and so on. If you didn't exit the game from in the game menu, that's your way to do it.
Yep, exactly. Now, if you want to go to the Windows desktop, which I know that people have kind of asked about, if you see on the bottom here, there is a button labeled Windows Desktop. You can do a lot from the full screen experience without ever going into the Windows Desktop because you can open any apps right through these means. But if you want to like mod games and you're like using File Explorer and dragging stuff around, like the Windows Desktop does make sense for something like that in a lot of cases. Or like I know a lot of people like to take their Ally, dock it to a monitor with a mouse and keyboard and use it as their PC. This allows you to do that, right? Once you do this, boom, you're at the desktop. It is a full Windows 11 desktop experience. You can do literally anything you would on a PC because it runs Windows, right? It operates in much the same way as a PC. I've got my start menu here. Whoops, my keyboard popped up because I'm on two displays. But you got your start menu. You can do anything that you would normally do. I can minimize these windows. I can bring them back up. It's a Windows desktop. Yeah. Now, one thing that I will mention, so I've talked about docking it to a monitor and using a mouse and keyboard or whatever. Xbox is working on enhancements to that docking experience too, coming earlier next year. So they're working on a seamless kind of high performance setup. So you can do gaming on a big screen. You've got like easy controller pairing. You've got auto SR, optimized display output, and stuff like that.
Awesome.
And again, because it's, basically a PC on the inside, you can upgrade your storage by swapping in a new SSD or by popping in a micro SD card. And Xbox also told me that they are working to make it easier to store your games on SD cards as well, including tools in the Xbox full screen experience that will help you navigate the process of setting it up. And that is coming
it's a big deal.
Early next year as well. Yeah. And so this is like one thing I want to make really clear. This is not just something that was built for this device and now it's done, right? Like this is only going to get better. This is just the beginning. And just like the previous ROG Ally, something we've said a lot, like this is your device. You decide how you want to use it, right? Our goal is to give you the console-like simplicity that so many of you have asked for over the past 2 years, while also keeping all of the freedom of Windows that lets you make this device your own, like modding games and doing all that stuff, right? So this is very much just the beginning. There's a lot of exciting stuff coming down the pipe, some of which I just talked about, some of which I haven't talked about yet. Stay tuned. I'm super hyped about where Microsoft is headed with this full screen experience for sure. I see people asking things like, does Minecraft Java run? Or like, can I run this app? Yeah, it's Windows. It's Windows. I think a lot of people thought that this was going to be like a kind of Windows under the hood, but not really. But like, no, it is full Windows 11. So you've got all of that stuff. I see a lot of people asking about the Raikiri 2. I do not have information about the Raikiri 2 just yet, you guys. But that's really exciting that you guys are hyped for it, because we did build the Raikiri 2 with
these button layouts,
with like the command center button and all of that stuff on it, specifically for this, because we know a lot of people are docking this to the TV and using it as kind of like a console or a PC.
I cannot wait to do that.
I'm really excited, and so we worked to make sure that the new Raikiri was kind of built to be a good partner for the Ally. So I know you guys are excited about that. I promise it's coming, but it's going to take a little bit more time for that one.
Yeah. One other question I wanted to jump in and answer. So Rune Dragsbake asked, can you play WoW with add-ons? I've actually done this with the original Ally. So yes, when you drop into that Windows full screen experience, you can actually go in and get those add-ons. And there is an add-on that gives controller support for World of Warcraft. And that's how you would have a phenomenal experience actually playing WoW with your Xbox Ally. So the answer is yes, and I've done it.
Yep. And you guys, if you want to see games run on the Ally, again, follow us, subscribe to us here on Twitch and YouTube, because Jake will be streaming games from his Ally on this channel.
Tomorrow even, yeah.
One last thing I want to show off before we move on. I know a lot of people have asked about this too. How do I re-enter the Xbox full screen experience once I'm at the Windows desktop? There are a few ways to do it. The easiest one that I found is this button right up here in the upper right-hand corner that says, the minimize there, that says Xbox full screen. That shows up when you go into the Windows desktop. And if you press that, you can go back into it. Now you have two choices here. If you want to get all of that background optimization back, you do need to restart the system, because like now that the taskbar and the desktop and all that stuff has been loaded. So that's going to get you all that back. It's only going to take a second because it's got that high speed SSD inside. Or you can just press start now and you'll go back into the full screen experience without those performance optimizations. So the desktop and stuff is still running underneath, but you just have the slightly more seamless full screen experience there. Again, like you can do so much from the full screen experience. I don't find myself going to the Windows desktop that often personally, because I can just jump right into my games. It's there when I want it, because I do occasionally like mod games and do stuff like that. Really handy.
I've yet to go to it. I've yet to go to it.
It's not something I thought I was going to do it more, but the full screen experience is so
very well done. Seamless.
It's so much more powerful than I thought.
Yeah.
That it's really, really nice to just be able to be in here, bounce back and forth between apps as I need it. But again, like with all my games right here in the aggregated library, like I just turn the device on and I go, which was the whole goal with this, right? Windows and the Xbox team have done an incredible job tuning all of this specifically for getting right into your games. And like I said, this is just the beginning. So I'm super hyped for what's coming up next.
Yeah. A lot of cool things to look forward to.
All right. I know some people in chat have been waiting, but we've got some giveaway winners to announce.
Right. And let's clarify this, because this is not something that's been, usually we do giveaways live on the stream. That is not what is happening today. We announced this via emails. There's been a ROG Xbox and Ally and LAX full setup giveaway. And this is something that was done through the Asus eShop. If you pre-ordered those products, you were automatically entered into a raffle for a chance to win a whole slew of prizes, including our new 2-in-1 premium case. We have our SSD enclosure, the Strix Arion, the Raikiri controller, Cetra wireless earbuds, and a Bulwark dock, which I showed off a little bit earlier.
Basically, every accessory you need for the ultimate ROG Ally experience.
Yeah, exactly. So again, there's no entries in chat here. Entries were done by purchasing through the US Asus eShop, and we are going to announce the winners now. Are you ready for it?
Ready.
Boom. Justin N, Caroline D, Anthony H, Zachary C, Raymond P, Matthew D, Mario V, Cesar C, John M, and Evan W. All of you, and obviously there may be multiple people with that name, but if you're one of those actual winners, because we're not giving the full last names out, will receive an email from the Asus social media or ACI social media at asus.com asking you for your full name, your phone number, and your shipping address. You must respond to that email within 48 hours. Now, those emails are going out either today or before the next 3 days, is what we were told. So within the next 3 days, these emails will be going out. So keep an eye on your email. You have 48 hours to respond if you are one of those winners. And once we have your information, they'll coordinate back with you and they will be shipping it about a month later. So about 1 month later, you'll be getting that entire swag bag for your Ally. Congratulations.
I see some people in chat being like, wait, this is just North America? Yes, this particular giveaway was just North America. So the way that some of these giveaways work, just so you guys know.
Winners in chat. I love it.
Oh, nice. Yay. We do occasionally do a global giveaways, but we have local offices all around the world, and sometimes those offices will do giveaways of their own for their regions.
Oh yeah, of course.
So this isn't Asus HQ being like only North America. This is the North American office ran this giveaway. They wanted us to announce the winners on stream, so we were like, cool.
Yeah.
If you live in a different region, make sure to follow the Asus and ROG social media accounts for that region. Because there are global social media accounts, and then there are accounts for like North America and Latin America and Europe and all that stuff. So follow the social media accounts for your region, and they will keep you updated on the giveaways that they are running that you might be eligible for. So yeah, always running different giveaways all the time. This one's North America only because this one was run by the North American office.
Yep.
But we do global giveaways all the time as well, and different regions do too. So keep an eye on those social media accounts for sure.
Yeah.
I do see more questions in chat. I know we didn't get to everything today, guys. There are some questions that I just can't answer yet. Like a lot of people asking, like, is this feature ever going to come? When's this going to drop? Some stuff, like, first of all, like, I can't necessarily answer those things because they haven't been announced yet. And also some of that, there's certain things that we add and certain things that Microsoft adds, and we work with them on a lot of stuff. But certain things are not for me to announce. So stay tuned. Again, follow us here on Twitch and YouTube because as new features come out, we'll show them off. If you guys want to see certain games on the Ally, Jake is going to be streaming games on this channel. It's going to be a really good time. So oh my gosh, people still asking about the Valkyrie 2. Yeah. I'm so happy that people are that excited about the Valkyrie 2 because it is really cool, but we don't have a date yet. Soon, guys.
We're going to headquarters next week. I'm going to inquire. I don't know if we'll be able to give you the answer, but I'll wink as many times as it needs to make you happy. Yeah, but we'll try to answer more questions tomorrow. Like I said, I'll be gaming on it all day tomorrow, so come hang out on the stream tomorrow. I'll try to answer more questions about stuff that's actually in the interface. Obviously, if it's stuff that is not there yet or coming in the future, I cannot give you any answers on that front. But
awesome. Well, guys, that is it for our show today. I wanted to show all of this stuff off and kind of get you guys a little bit acquainted with what you're going to see the first time you boot it up. I hope you guys all get your units today. Again, follow us here. Also head over to our site, rog.asus.com. We've got some written content there with lots of tips and tricks, especially if this is your first ROG Ally. There's a lot of cool stuff all over the software on this thing that is going to make it really easy to use, really amp up your gaming experience. So yeah, we'll hope to see you guys more on this channel. We'll see you next time.